Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about expert grading services, aka EGS. So EGS is a CGC CBCS alternative. It's a grading service that you can send your books down, they'll assign them a grade and encapsulate those books for you. The different thing about EGS is the customization that they offer as far as the labels. You can put different colored labels on them, put clip art, different images in these labels. Well, all sounds good and great, right? Well, a friend of the channel reached out to me and has had a nightmare situation with this company. So it wouldn't be a Sticky Goose video if we didn't do a little bit of digging. The first thing I do, like any good Sticky Goose research video, is let's just go to Instagram first and take a look at our friend's EGS's Instagram account. And you don't have to look far before you see this. So what you see is an Incredible Hulk #1 in a 9.8 EGS grade. Beautiful book, right? Label looks great. Hold on a minute. It says Incredible Hulk, not Incredible Hulk. So this is a image that they have chosen to post to promote their brand. And I was going to the comments, I was like, had anybody caught this? And sure enough, 2B in PHX says Incredible on the label. He says, I'm not hating the label itself, just EGS custom labels do look awesome. I'm just saying, check the spelling before you promote your cool product. EGS responds and says, so you had to go post the mistake on your account and point it out on my post. Thanks for the support, sir. I take full responsibility like always when a mistake is made, but kind of feel like you're putting this on blast. Guy says, I said I like the label. It just seems to me that if you're trying to put your best product out, maybe double check the spelling. Sorry if your mistake upset you. I did not have any ill intent. EGS says, just seems like there is some intent when you posted this on your account. I mean, it's one thing to say it in the post, but when you also post it on your account for the world to see, that seems a little unnecessary. Glad you like the new label. Says, I took it down. I'm just a little high and thought it was funny. Sorry again. He just got a little bit high and, he just made a post about the label. Couple things that jump right off the page here. Is EGS the softest person in the comic book community? I mean, maybe. Like, guy posts a picture of a misspelled label that you're advertising for your grading content and then calls out somebody for calling it out and says that they're trying to sabotage his company. I mean, if this dude like some Sticky Goose comments, my dude would have like a full-blown heart attack because I don't think he could handle it. I mean, that's shallow waters when it comes to some of the comments I get. So right off the bat, I noticed that our friend at EGS is a little defensive. So getting back to how this video came to be, the friend of the channel had submitted 10 books for grading to EGS. And like CGC, there was a certain timetable that these books were supposed to have been returned. Well, our friend was waiting. Weeks turned to months. Months turned to nearly half a year, and his books were not back yet. I believe he submitted these in like August, and we're getting close to Christmas here in 2023. And he still had not gotten the books up until that point. So again, I'm honored. He reaches out to me and says, this guy has stopped communicating with me completely. Will you please help me? Is there anything you can do? I said, give me all the information you have, and then let me reach out to EGS and see what's going on. So the first thing I do, I get the information from a friend of the channel, and I reach out to our EGS colleague here. So the issues seem to come from the friend of the channel is continuing to try to reach out to EGS, hey, what's the status of my books? Where are they? And the turnaround time for the tier that he selected was supposed to have been like 40 to 50 days. So whenever I see those time constraints, I think those are working days. So for any given month, I see there to be like 20 to 21-ish working days a month. That's like Monday through Friday. So turnaround time, you're looking, if you're in that 40 to 50 day ballpark, you're looking at like two and a half month turnaround. Well, this guy's sitting at around 4 months, and he keeps getting pushed off. So he's never submitted to EGS before, and he starts getting concerned that he had been ripped off or he wasn't going to get his books back. And I would probably feel the same way. The other issue became when he starts just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want my money back. I want my money back and I want my books back. Well, that didn't sit right with EGS. EGS had apparently already had the books graded, and what was happening was they were waiting for their cases to be sent to their headquarters, and so that they could encapsulate the books after the grading. There was issues apparently with the cases involving quality control, and this is information from EGS. So once I get in touch with EGS, they kind of he's very prompt with messaging me. In the beginning, he was just trying to understand like who I was talking about, because I wasn't the customer. Like I wasn't the one that had submitted the book. So, I can understand like talking about somebody else, another customer's order. That's not super professional, which I get it. But the issue was that EGS had ghosted the friend of the channel. So come to find out that the friend of the channel had submitted a report to PayPal, because I'm assuming this was paid with goods and services, saying, I want my money back. There might have been some shenanigans, some funny business going on here. EGS is saying they've never had anything like this before happen, where somebody's contacted PayPal, because when you contact PayPal like this, you're claiming something's fraudulent. You're saying something's a scam. So EGS kind of just shuts down all communication with the friend of the channel. And what that led to was friend of the channel not being super happy with the lack of communication, which further amplified his fears of that he's never going to get his money back, he's never going to get his books back, he's out the money and the books. So I was able to get in touch with EGS. He gave me kind of a hard and fast timetable of, this is when the cases are going to be here, this is when we anticipate shipping out. That to me was just a situation of friend of the channel's getting a little anxious, getting a little rambunctious. Maybe, I want my stuff. And I definitely get that, especially with submitting to CGC within the past, in 2021, 2022. It was like, where's my stuff? Have they lost it? So I can definitely see his concern. Friend of the channel gets his books back, and this is what they look like here. He sent 10 books in, and the first one he sent me, the first one I see is this Spider-Man #1. And I see it's a 9.4, but hold on a minute, hold your horses. Take a look at this label. So EGS has really prided themselves in the quality of these labels, how they're varied in color, they're customizable. Well, the friend of the channel chose just to get, the regular, CGC, CBCS looking label, where it's just kind of got that blue into white, and this is what it is. But hold on a minute. Look at this label. It's not even straight. It's not cut right. This thing is angled, and it's hard to tell whether the label has like shifted up in the case, or it's been cut improperly. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's just one mistake. That's just like one issue. No, 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 no. Look at this one. Savage Dragon versus Savage Megaton Man #1. Look at the label. It's totally off center. This one doesn't look like it's been miscut. It literally looks like it's like coming down into where the encapsulation is. And then if you look at the book, look how crooked the book is. I mean, it's the top left corner is like up, the top right corner is down. I mean, what a joke. Then if we look at the back of the slab, this dude's got a certificate of authenticity with this, which we'll take a look at in here in just a minute. But look at the top label. It's www.ecsgrading.com. That's fine. And then it's 00000004997. That's your certification number. I mean, that's a little bit of wishful thinking with the other zeros. You're talking about like how many trillion books do they anticipate grading? That I was like, this is a joke. And then this certificate of authenticity, the friend of the channel says it was just like a cookie cutter thing. And the EGS guy's got his name on this. And then basically he's using these certificates to tell the customer what's wrong with the book. I'm assuming, I don't know if there's like an online component where you can also see those grader notes or not, but that's how he's communicating the grader notes. Guys, this is a joke. Like, I mean, is this for real? Like, books loose in multiple slabs, labels loose in multiple slabs, labels miscut potentially. This is a joke. So the next thing I do, obviously, is you got to YouTube or have other YouTube people talked about this. And sure enough, they had. But hold on a minute. It's all positive. I look at a couple YouTube guys. I'm not going to say their names because I just don't care. These guys are over here promoting it. And look at the grades they're kind of getting. They're getting 9.8s, 9.8s, 9.8s. I think that's hilarious. 1. 2, next thing I see is they've been on EGS's show. One of these guys is a CGC like promoter, or he may be like a CGC authorized dealer or something. He's always talking about CGC, being at the CGC booth or whatever. And he's talking about this? That was weird. So if we take a look at EGS's website, I mean, it looks like a fine enough website. But there it is. There's the turnaround times. There's their story. They're promoting. And the guy has a YouTube channel, which, you can see that they've promoted other YouTubers, bringing them in on the channel. Guys, I got a couple things to say about all this. So when you're grading books, it's like a standardization. You're assigning a grade that a grade has to mean something. So I totally think there should be competition in the grading community. I'm definitely not against that. But when you have CGC, you kind of have a standard, a community, an industry standard. And that standard comes with, labels that aren't misprinted, labels that aren't miscut, books that don't like move around in the slab, a grading standard that a 9.8 means something, a 9.6 means something, a yada 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 means something. When you're having something graded by another company, what does an EGS 9.4 mean? Does it mean anything? So I was trying to wrap my head around what would lead a person to get something graded not by the big two, because let's just face facts. There is a premium set on CGC graded books. A CGC 9.8 versus a CBCS 9.8, it's not even close as far as the premium. And you can argue that all you want, but it's true. If you go on eBay, you go on these sites, people pay more for a CGC 9.8. It means something. So if you have whatever book in an EGS 9.8. Does that mean anything to anybody? I don't think so. What I see this is as a company that kind of filled a void, filled a gap, a need when everybody was going crazy and all these new people came in the comic book world and they were desperate to slab everything and anything. These guys, I bet 2021 was just a monster year. And in 2023, we're wrapping this up now, I bet they completely crashed. Because this service seems to me like when CGC was taking months and years to grade books, people were looking for an alternative. They wanted their books graded. They wanted them slabbed. And then you have an EGS come to power. And then, the custom labels and stuff. I mean, that's all good. I mean, it's a good idea, but the little clip art that you see on that, I mean, like, is that what you're paying for? Is that what you're getting? I mean, yeah, they're in a slab, which I can't speak to the quality of the slab. That's something I haven't even talked about yet. But I just don't see the point of this. And honestly, when the friend of the channel told me how much he paid for this, he was in this for like $270. My heart sank when I heard that. I felt like sick that somebody had spent that kind of money on this type of service, and then you got that as the product, like this crap label. I mean, it was a joke. I don't know if this was like retribution on this guy getting mad. I mean, I don't know. EGS, to my understanding, is just like a couple guys. Like, I know of the one guy because he's got his name on everything. He's got the YouTube channel, and I think there might be another guy, but I think they're just kind of like working out of this guy's home or something. I don't know if there's like a dedicated office space or something, but like when you're getting something graded, there's certain expectations that there's secrecy. There's separating the book from the person that submitted the book. I mean, to do that with having such a small employee base, I mean, that seems extremely difficult. And in this situation, you've got to think that there might have been some retribution because of all the PayPal shenanigans, all the complaining from the friend of the channel made to these guys. I mean, I don't know. You don't know what the quality of these books were, but I mean, these labels, they're a joke. Guys, have you ever submitted to EGS? Do you think that this is a good idea? Let me know. If at any point in time you like this video, give the thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.